sofa of doom. Toby, your fantastic two-parter, Under the Lake and Before the Flood, has just reached our screens. Now, this is a two-parter, new kind of thing, I suppose, or at least there are more of them around than there used to be. What are the satisfactions of that?
I have to say, I found writing a two-parter easier in many ways than writing a single one, because you're having to, sometimes with a single one, you almost have, because of it's such a shorter duration, you almost sometimes have to wrap up the story perhaps slightly artificially. You kind of, you're rushing towards a conclusion. Whereas with the two-parter, it allows the story to breathe a little more, you have a little more complexity, and also you get, which I'd never had before in an episode of Who, you get to have your cliffhanger as well. And that was fantastic, because again, you're building up to this kind of brilliant halfway moment, and then, kind of working backwards from that afterwards. I really enjoyed the process.
Hello, my name is Toby.
Hello, Toby.
Yeah. So my question is obviously with the girl who died, revealed all about the 12th Doctor's face. So, also, how long did you have that planned in mind, and how hard was it to carry out?
I think that's a question for you, Steve.
Yes, it is.
When I first cast Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, I remembered that Russell had said to me, or possibly in an article somewhere, that he'd had a plan to account for the fact that Peter Capaldi turns up in both Doctor Who and Torchwood in different parts. He'd actually had a plan. And so I wrote to him and said, look, what was the plan? Does it fit? And he says, yes, I've already worked it out. I've already worked it out, why he looks like that guy in the Roman one. And he said, it's just that it's about the Doctor, well, what the Doctor says, asserting his right to save people. His plan was that in the Torchwood episode, which we couldn't really reference because it would have been too difficult in that sequence and too slowing down, is that the Doctor asserts himself over time by saving Peter Capaldi's character in the fires of Pompeii. Time reasserts itself by ending that bloodline in the Torchwood episode, and the Doctor says, to hell with you, Time, and takes that face and brings it back again. It's the Doctor's eternal battle with doom and destiny.
So does that mean the character in Torchwood is related to the character in the Fires of Pompeii?
Yes, and remarkably, at a level of genetic throwback over a couple of thousand years, which is actually completely impossible to look identical.
So that's got to be a revelation. I don't think that fact's out there.
It's not technically canonical to be never said it.
You've said it. You've said it.
I cannot canonize by speaking.
There we go.
Thanks for joining us here today. We're about to meet the cast, but before we do, I think the less you hear from... I'm Toby, hello. The less you hear from me, the better. So I hope you've all got some fantastic questions to ask. But what always happens is that sometimes people get a little nervous, and I might ask for a question, and people will be telling you when to ask, they'll be giving you microphones and stuff. But just in case of a silence, I need a wingman. I can see a wingman, potential wingman with a scarf there. What's your name, my friend? Charlie? But all I'm going to ask you to do, Charlie, and this is so that nobody else asks this question, because it's a question we got asked 4 times in the space of 5 minutes yesterday, which is, what's your favourite story? That also counts for what's your favourite episode. They're the same question. So Charlie, that's going to be the question you're going to ask if there's a silence or a technical problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, Charlie, help me out. And don't worry, if you then get nervous, there's an adult next to you who will help you out. I think you'll be all right. So that's, you're going to be the Doctor for the day, Charlie, that if it goes disastrously wrong, you're going to save us. So we've got Charlie on board, which is fantastic. So we'll head straight to all I ask you to do is give your love and support and be ready with your questions for the 5 people who will be joining us on stage. So please give it a bit of welly as we welcome on our guests in no particular order: Stephen Moffat, Ingrid Oliver, Michelle Gomez, Jenna Coleman, and Peter Capaldi!
monster, so we're just revealing now the fluffy mic. I've been following a boom shadow.
Please, I think boom operator.
I've been following.
So there we are in Tenerife,
Sunny Spain.
sunny.
But it was a bit cloudy that day.
It was a bit cloudy that day. When was that? February, January?
This year at some point. And it was lovely, wasn't it? We had a nice time, didn't we? And then this crew turned up.
And then this crew turned up and started filming our conversation.
Yeah. very, very rude. But it was amazing, actually, to get out of Cardiff. Nothing wrong with Cardiff.
Hello, my name's Mara. I'm from Northampton, but originally from Italy. So, buongiorno a tutti. Buongiorno.
Come va?
Tutto bene, grazie. I forgot my question now. It's about the underpants, actually. A lot of people have asked me to ask the question, do they really exist, the question mark underpants, and will we see them in the future?
Get them out now! Me too, get them out now!
Well, I have to tell you, they weren't actually sitting in my trailer on the day that I made that remark. I went in and they were there waiting for me. But whether or not I put them on or not is a document mystery. I'll leave you guessing on that.
Thank you.
Number 2.
Hi, my name is Valeria. I'm actually an admin of the Belgian Whovian fan club, and we've actually put a poll in our group asking which question we should ask if we got the chance. And they've asked me to ask, specifically P, so that we can throw it up to the others as well, whether you have a episode of a previous Doctor that you would like to have had as your story, to have played as your Doctor?
Almost any of them, really. I think there have been so many brilliant stories, and I never like to pick one out because I have so many favourites, and as soon as you pick one, it makes it sound as if you don't like a whole pile of other ones. So I just have I have a rolling kind of strategy about this, which is I have a favourite every 5 minutes. So I can say that my current favourite to play, I suppose, I think Ark in Space would be great to play. I'd like to do that. I think even the Daleks, the original Dalek story, would be fab. Or in fact, even An Unearthly Child, I think would be fabulous. But I'd do them all.
I'm not sure if that wasn't What's Your Favourite Story in disguise.
It wasn't.
So it's a good job that's going to be asked in more than 5 minutes.
There's nothing else like it. It's really a rare thing and a very special thing. And it's a gift. It's the nature of the storytelling that you can't get anywhere else. It's so whimsical and big and fairy tale and epic, and you couldn't, you know, we did a leaving video at my my rap party, and just seeing what actually I've been doing for the last 3 years. One of my friends were just like, you have the most mad but wonderful job, and it is, you know, the stunts that you get to do, you get put on wires. Stephen makes me hang upside down a lot, apparently, this season.
In the story, not.
But really, it's every day. It's every day with Peter, and I've been so lucky. I've had Stephen's scripts.
Oh, very good.
I'm very good at it. See, very good. But Stephen's scripts, and to work with Peter every day, who's wonderful, and continues to make me better, and is just a great friend to me. And I got up on stage planning to thank everybody for the last 4 years, planning to say all these wonderful things, and it went like this. Thank you! And that was it. That's all I got out.
And yet it was still better than our speech. That's the truth. As I like to say,
There was a little something going on there. No, she's brilliant. So it turned out that we had this great sort of comic double act thing going on. She's a fantastic sidekick, and actually I was so nervous on my first day. I'm not sure if people know this, but why would you? Because you weren't there, so I'll tell you about it now. I was moved to snog Peter's face, and then I think there was some sucking of nose at some point. I put my hand out behind me, and during that take, Jenna was holding my hand as I was doing that. So that also tells you that she is quite weird.
I didn't know you grabbed my hand.
Yes, well, anyway, it happened. But no, I tend to make a career of playing two-dimensional characters, because that's the breadth and depth of me. And then I get to work with this one, who's like, it's the attention to detail. I'm sorry, it has to be said. She can say so much with just, I don't know, the shift of an eye. The shift of an eye? Which she takes the right eye out. It's very effective. And then pops it back in again. It's brilliant.
I find it very hard to not. I kept having to remember Clara doesn't like Missy. Because in the scenes, Michelle's so hilarious. I kind of just want to join in. And then I'm like, oh no, I forget. I don't like you. I'm not supposed to like you. It's very hard to not play.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. I just don't like acting with you when you're upside down, that's all.
No, I've given Michelle a fear of upside down people, a genuine fear.
Yeah, I can't act with upside down people, because watching her with all the blood rushing to her head freaked me out.
Let's go to number 2. What we're going to do is... We're going to do number 2, and then we'll go to number 1, and then the next number 2, where I want people to only put their hands up if they've got a question, because we're going to mix it up so everyone gets a bit... if you've got a question...
I'm sorry.
I don't think I was specific. They didn't put that on the form. They didn't say it's your eyebrows. Perhaps obviously it was a drama school that specialised in brow work, which is a rather old-fashioned technique which I mastered on my own. Looking at my Roger Moore self-help tape. I think probably that was just a quote about, I think I was rejected because I was a total ham. And obviously the eyebrows are the main tool, along with the eyes, of the total ham.
And then on to the altogether more serious issue of, yes, women in drama and television and Doctor Who's role in that.
Well, I mean, I think, well, as actors you don't, you know, you're employed to do a job, and so you turn up and you say the words, and you don't sort of...
Regardless of having a vagina.
Regardless of having a vagina. What I would say is that
elephant in the room.
Sorry about that. But what I would say is that actually,
Yeah. Come on, that's what you paid for.
If I may. No, what I would say is that the Zygon inversion, the Zygon invasion, well, both actually. Watching them, what I found quite heartening or fascinating was that the units. The women of units, all the military figures were all women, which I think is quite important actually. I thought that felt very refreshing. So I think that was a great episode for women, wasn't it?
Yeah. And can I just say, I would easily pass for 27, but I'm actually a 48-year-old action figure. And I think that is a brilliant message for those of us that think that it's all over and it's all about wearing a cardigan and eating a packet of hobnobs. It's not.
Mark Gatiss. Kate, you are a monster maker, aren't you? You're a producer at Millennium FX. What does that actually involve? What a job.
Oh, it involves so much, but basically we get wonderful scripts from people like Mark, and we take those words, and I get to manage every part of the process so that we get some monsters to film on at the end of the day, and you guys get to see the wonderful monsters from Doctor Who on screen.
And Mark, you're a writer. You've done 8 episodes of Doctor Who. Of course, number 8 was on last night. Did you all watch it? Yeah. Fantastic. And not only have you written for Doctor Who, but also you've been in it as well, which is quite a unique...
Not enough.
Not enough. There's still scope for more. But that's quite a unique situation, isn't it? Because you were Gantok in the Wedding of River Song, although not necessarily recognisable as your good self.
Yeah. Is that working?
I think so.
Yes, I was Professor Lazarus first and then Gantok, so I've done it a couple of times now. Always under heavy makeup, I know what they're trying to tell me. Yeah, it was obviously a dream come true to be in Doctor Who as well as writing it, so yeah, it's been a fantastic experience all round.
And you had a much larger part in the Lazarus experiment, of course, Professor Lazarus. Now, what was that like, having prosthetics? Because you were sort of old professor, young, handsome, debonair professor, and also you turned into a monster.
Yes, it's the three. I tried to convince the toy people to make a kind of transformer out of me.
Yes.
So it was just my head, then the old head, and then you open it up like that. It turns into a monster. They didn't go for it. But yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, I've been a huge fan since I was a child. I used to have the Dick Smith makeup kit. He did The Exorcist and Little Big Man, the famous old age makeup on Dustin Hoffman. So I'm always really very interested in it. And Chris Tucker, who did The Elephant Man as well. So it was wonderful to submit myself to that process. And it does have a kind of... it's really interesting how it affects you. The older you look, the older you feel. It was very strange.
So it was strange looking in the mirror and seeing a vision of yourself in...
And Neil, who designed it, threw in a little touch of Vincent Price for me. So I age a bit like Vincent Price, which is quite nice.
Well, that's no bad thing, is it? Now, here we go. So this is a creation of your team then, Kate?
It is. It's the wonderful Meyer. Clunky...
Give him a big round of applause, isn't that superb?
Did you call it Mike Meyer?
Mike Meyer.
Oh.
Now, it's rather intimidating, isn't it? But it's all made of foam. It looks terribly heavy. It looks... I described it when I looked at it the first time as if it is either a bronze statue that's many, many years old, or perhaps something that's been underwater. And
it does give the impression of being, you know, rusted and clunky and ancient. Yeah. I mean, the paint finish on it is very, very clever. It's difficult to make something look like metal when it doesn't have a sheen to it, and so Natalie and the rest of the painting team did an absolutely extraordinary job.
Well, there are little glints of reflection. Is it open? Can I touch the Maya?
Yes.
This is a really strange situation. Now, of course, inside the Maya, on the TV show, there's a really hideous creature, isn't there?
Yes.
Is it all right if we pop the helmet off and see what's inside?
Yes. I mean, it was hardly shown in the episode, and in fact, it was just shown in...
Well, we need Lisa to come on stage. This is a big moment. Who can help us?
This is Lisa, who actually helped build the Meyer. So
Okay, so this is the big reveal. Remember, there could be a hideous creature inside.
I'm not a monster, I am a human being.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to John Davey. Now, John, you're obviously in this rather amazing Maya costume, but you've been in Doctor Who many times since the series came back, haven't you? And you have been many different things.
I have. I basically was a Cyberman in Series 2, and since that I've, I think, been in 35 episodes to date, and some of the monsters include the Heavenly Host, the Ooge, Jadoom, Hath, Winder, Vigil, Whispermen, the Maya, and a plethora of Daleks too.
Well, there we go. Isn't that amazing? I described John earlier as the John Scott Martin of the 21st century. Now, that's a name many of you might not know, but there was a wonderful actor called John Scott Martin who appeared in the original classic series of Doctor Who, right the way through it, always invariably playing monsters, but he also had little character parts. He played things like guards and that kind of thing. Have you been seen in your John Davy outfit? Well, you know what I mean. Have you appeared on screen as you are?
As a human.
As a human.
I have a few times. I was an Atmos worker in the Sortaran stratagem. I've been a unit soldier a few times, and in fact, last week in the Zygon inversion, I was a scary Zygon policeman having a staring contest with the Doctor.
Well, I think I should, when I look back at that, I shall think of you. Look at that. Fantastic. You're pushing him off the edge of the stage. That's brilliant stuff. Didn't he do well, Kate?
Did he do well?
Didn't he do well? It is totally a generation game. That's great stuff. Well done. Now, we get the mask off you, unless you want to stay like that for the rest of the weekend. Yes, I think perhaps we'll let the team have their mask back.
It's going to be the Doctor meets Conan Doyle, but it also had to feature Vastra, Jenny and Strax and all sorts of things, and eventually Conan Doyle was the bit that had to go. But there is a reference to one of the unseen Sherlock Holmes stories, the story of the repulsive red leech. So I kept the leech, lost Conan Doyle, and this is where it came from. But I said specifically it should be a mouth like a lamprey, just this, and giant blank black eyes. But it's kind of exactly what I wanted. It's a strange combination of cute and absolutely horrible. And I still think, you know, the central image of Diana Rigg revealing this suckling on her throat is one of the strangest things ever broadcast on British television.
And which comes straight from your imagination.
Of which I'm very proud.
Yes. So, Kate, how's it operated here? It looks quite sophisticated, but is it?
It's very sophisticated. This is sort of NASA-level technology. This sort of stuff you see on spaceships. So it's bike cable.
Right.
From a cycle shop.
Okay.
Tubing from a cycle shop and some bits of metal. So, yeah, it all kind of runs up a little system to make his head move around.
And his mouth?
His little mouth. So you'll see this very complex device here, his little air pump. And inside his mouth is quite literally a balloon.
A little balloon? So you can make him pucker up. Look at that.
There you go.
Who thinks there should be a Mr. Sweet toy?
Of course there should be a Mr. Sweet toy.
I think they're missing a trick there.
There should be a Mr. Sweet Sweet.
A Mr. Sweet Sweet.
He would make, he's very, like, quite good jelly, raspberry flavour.
He would, yes, good jelly.
Wonderful stuff.
Hello. It's Sandy the Sandman.
From your episode last night. Who saw it? Hello. Look at that. Now, Mark, what can you tell us about your grotesque Sandman? I'm just checking, by the way, that I've got nothing in the corner of my eye. Everyone just check, by the way.
Well, as you know now, it's the idea is that the sleep in your eyes is not benign, and if you don't wipe it out, I've got some. I've been up all day.
Just having a little check.
It'll change into one of these. So in the script, it's a conglomeration of dust and mucus, but with a huge gaping mouth and maw, which I think is inspired. When I was a child, there's a wonderful cartoon of Christmas Carol by Richard Williams. When Jacob Marley unwinds his bandage, his jaw just goes like that, and I've never forgotten it. I think it terrified me when I was about 6. And it's a thing I often think about in monsters. And it works wonderfully on this one. So here he is.
So, Kate, how did you make this Sandman then? How did the team make this?
Well, it's a foam latex suit, so we had to sculpt it over the form of the actor, make a mould and then cast it in foam latex. But it's quite sort of blobby and random, and that's actually a really tricky thing to achieve, because when you try and sculpt something random, I don't know if you've ever tried to draw loads of dots, you eventually kind of end up making a little pattern by mistake. It's like your brain tries to always put things in patterns. So what our sculptors did to shake things up a bit is they invented a little catapult system, and we're actually firing globs of clay at
that must have been a fun day.
Yes. What did you do at the office today? Oh, I just threw globules of clay at a model.
We've recently moved workshop, and so this is one of the last things we did in our workshop, and it was just absolutely amazing.
It's like a custard pie fight.
It's like, yeah. Well, guys.